Liverpool's title attacking credentials were once again on show against Leicester, and much of that is down to their irrepressible form at Fortress Anfield. But Jurgen Klopp's Merseyside Giants know they'll need to repel the growing challenges of Mourinho Spurs and Frank Lampard's Chelsea, both of whom are looking to lay siege on their red rivals. Hello and the finest of welcomes to Kicking It with Nairabet. It's an absolute pleasure to have Olakule Rufai join us on the fantastic after international break edition of the show, and of course looking forward to hearing from the alter ego of Tracy Chappelle. That's what I'm going to call us today. Olakule, it's good to have you on the show today.
Absolutely, good to be back. This is my second appearance.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so looking forward to an amazing time.
Great. Tracy, it's good to have you here.
Okay, so
what's up with Swat?
It's not Swat, it's Tracy.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing there, Mr. GP.
Yep.
It's okay, I'm good. I'm feeling good. I got a coach that I put money on that made me smile. Mourinho, God bless you. I'm still waiting for you to come and take me away as your second wife or third. I'll take it. And international football done. And now Champions League football in view. It's going to be a very interesting set of winter games. So I'm here for it.
One thing's for sure, the games are actually in fire sequence all over the next couple of weeks, and we're certainly looking forward to it here on Kicking It with Naira. But let's start off with the game we saw, the biggest one, of course, across the weekend. I think it was match day 9, just to be sure. 9 actually. Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola as Spurs looking to renew that rivalry, because we all thought it was going to be the Manchester United and Manchester City that would make it, a real rivalry. But clearly, Jose now has the team he feels is pretty much the team he wants. Could that have renewed that rivalry with Pep Guardiola?
I mean, the moment Spurs hired Jose, you know that there's something around the corner. There's something coming. There's a storm coming. Jose is box office. He comes with all of the attention, all of the buzz, all of the razzmatazz, but also with a lot of quality on the pitch as well, with a lot of getting the job done on the pitch as well, and that is what is going on right now. So we're looking at the Spurs team right now that looks to be a potential title challenger, and right now, if you underrate them, it's definitely at your own peril. They're doing well, top of the table before the Liverpool-Leicester game, second on the table right now. They look like they have everything, to take that final step to winning the league. So I'm here for it as well.
Don't you think Olakule is a bit too early in his assertion that Spurs need a final step to make a title challenge? And I say that because when you think across, let's just go back to the game itself. The moment Jose Mourinho was appointed as United manager and Pep Guardiola at City, you thought Pep would have the team he wanted, and Mourinho didn't quite, as we of course now know, didn't have the team he wanted or the commitment he wanted from the players. But the moment he's now beginning to get the team he's wanted, City don't quite look the team that Pep Guardiola wants, so it looks as if they were not going to get that rivalry back. Or do you think otherwise?
Everything is in season, and when desire shifts, if there's a shift in the spheres, as it is, it means that time has passed. You either catch your wave when you need to catch it, like the surfers say, or you just have to wait for another wave to come through and just manage what you have. That's what Jose Mourinho did last season with Tottenham Hotspur. Don't forget that a lot of even the fans of Tottenham Hotspur, they weren't really keen on him being the manager, because they're like, this is a man that's anti-football. At least we're punching above our weight, we're playing attacking football. But he kind of did something that's been strange for a lot of us, and you can get why, because when you look at the documentary, it was like its best PR. That documentary they did for the Amazon or whatnot for Tottenham. When they did that, you just saw that this guy's charismatic. You could not help but not watch him. And when you start watching him, you remove all the images that has been put in your mind over the years by the media, and you're like, okay, let's take this man as the game comes. And when you look at as the game comes, unlike his transfer window at Manchester, he had the opportunity to work with players now that even when he's not benching, when he's not using them, like say the Dele Alli situation, any other club that he was, if he had a player like Dele Alli, the talented Dele Alli, he's not playing well and he's benching him and he's not even putting him in the starting lineup, that would have scattered his career. Something like that happened with the Pogba situation when Manchester United decided to back Pogba over Mourinho. But now you see that he gets players that are not so expensive. See the situation with Oberg was just that guy that did the dirty job for, was it Southampton?
Yeah,
or whatnot. And he was one of those players that will roll under the radar. But one thing we've noticed, especially for title-winning clubs, they always seem to pick players that they are not the biggest hype men, but they know how to.
So you're basically a Kante for Chelsea,
yeah. So everybody needs that dirty job guy, but
Right.
he's not overhyped, and that's what he managed to get. So I think with this particular squad now, I was watching one of his trainings and he was having a conversation with them. He was like, "Yo, I look at the trainings just before the games. If your attitude match the kind of attitude when I want for the game the next day, oh boy, you go day my list." And that's what he's doing. So that's why even Ndombele, that can play like a dumbass a lot of times, even the guys that don't they reduce the errors. For that City game, if you looked at Sergio Rey or even Eric Dyer, for once they don't do too many stupid, immature decisions. I mean, see, Dyer was able to play for the better part of 80 minutes without doing too many. I lost concentration. So it tells you where he is at now. Before we thought Mourinho was out of football, I feel like now he has moved with the times. He has managed to evolve a bit and still stick to what he knows how to do best, which is give instruction to players. If you are going to be like a soldier, I'm going to be your general.
Right.
I'll tell you what to do. You better do it. If you know if you do man, get the fuck. And that's what he's doing. But for Pep Guardiola, yes, they fear him. I mean, we see what happens now. The way they do for Pinnick, and so they do for Pep Guardiola. We go just you just wake up, you just see behind the same video of Pep Guardiola blasting everybody and like, oh more, he's there for everywhere. But the point is, players fear him, but they don't play his philosophy. They just know that something a little bit icky is there. There's only so many times you can hear a man say, we go blow, and you never blow, and you will not believe again. So I think for Guardiola, he might just be the one that football has left this season, honestly speaking. And I think he should take a break, because the Guardiola that I'm seeing, especially from that game, there are some games that make you know that this is the beginning of the end, or this is just the signing of the end. And that felt like the clarion call for me, like it was the end of the Guardiola that we know. I know they
So the Tottenham game literally put a nail in the coffin for,
I think so,
for Pep Guardiola.
I think so.
Right. If there's one thing Jose Mourinho has, of course, taken on as a manager nowadays is his Instagram account. You should check it out.
Yes,
Yes. A friend of mine told me we need to actually subscribe to that Instagram account. Which
he should enter OnlyFans. If Mourinho is on OnlyFans, my bad.
Come on.
OnlyFans, no.
Come on.
Right, let's move on to our next conversation. I want to have a bit of a chip at this. We'll start with you, Olakunle. Ole.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about. I think Ole is our favorite manager on Kicking It with Narabet because we talk about him all the time. But 1-0 result against West Brom, he put his face out and said, "Look, sometimes the performance is more important than the results are more important than the performance." It's beginning to sound like a broken record because they keep scoring with penalties. It's only the second goal they scored in at Old Trafford. I think in open play. I think it was a penalty actually.
Yeah, it was a penalty.
So it's a bit of a problem.
Obviously, I mean, I'm quite surprised to hear Ole say something like the result is more important than the performance. I thought it was all about the performance. It was all about the United way of playing football, not the the performance.
Yeah, you're very rude.
Very rude. Because when you see what has gone down at United for the best part of 2.5 years that Ole has been there, you'd have expected to be more like a lot more progress. When he came in, there were some liners, that he dropped. I'm all about philosophy. I'm all about culture.
Football is better with better players.
With better players. I'm all about identity. If you look at the United side right now, have they got identity? I don't think so. Have they got a philosophy? I don't think so. Have they got, mentality even in the side? I don't think so. So there's a lot that's going on with the team. You look at the fact that they've been able to bring in Van der Beek and he's not playing. What exactly is going on? More so when you're not getting goals. And Van der Beek is the guy that can get you goals even from midfield. So it seems to me that Ole is in over his head. He doesn't really know how to get out. Doesn't really know, because by now
he's out of his depths. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't really know how to get out of the situation, because by now you'd be hearing United being linked to this player, that player. In the off season, it was just all about Jadon Sancho. That's the only player it felt like United really wanted to get. And if you look at the team right now, do you think if you bring in Jadon Sancho is going to solve all of the problems that they've got right now? I don't think so. So what exactly is going on? What are the caliber of players they're trying to bring in? We don't have those signs, those positive signs to say, okay, we can see what you're trying to build here. It's just not there. The same complaints that a lot of United fans had when the last manager was there was how they were playing football. And I don't think it has changed.
Right.
because United under Ole are their best when they are playing against the big boys, and the reason that is because they sit on a low block and they look to hit on the counter attack.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like they made any sort of improvement under Ole.
What are the odds that he finishes the season with? I think we've asked this question multiple times, but do you think he finishes the season with Manchester United as head coach?
It goes two ways, because he's protected currently by the old block of ex-Man United players like the Giggs and the Carragers and the Scholes and whatnot. Unlike the other managers that had suffered the reef, the vile, and the venom of the very acerbic mouth of what's his face, those two brothers, the one that coached in Valencia, that
Phil and Gary.
Yeah, those one, the Neville brothers and whatnot. This one, they are like, he will get it, he will figure it. There's only so much time that see right now. Every time when game finish and they look at the analysis and they bring these guys in after a United game, you'll just be like, okay, stop robbing. They rob the balls now. They rob them. We know some nonsense to do, but you not go to say play nonsense. The point is, I don't think on a good day, if he was not an ex-United player, he has no business still being there. He would have therefore don't give a Mickey Kushilo if you don't go Tete.
I actually think
because he is one of them, they are very careful about how they usher him out.
Yeah.
Because they are still hoping that, maybe if you don't manage to win one FA Cup, if you don't manage to reach like quarter-final or semi-final, Champions League or something, I think they're trying to manage him.
So basically he doesn't finish the season.
Yeah,
think so?
I think on a normal day, he no go finish, but I feel like they're trying to manage the situation so that they can see how well he can manage to get out of it. Because you see, the president, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't do well as an ex-player who came in as a coach, it's in the case of the team they are playing now at Istanbul, Başakşehir.
Yeah.
You see Okan Abi, what's his name? He's a former midfielder. He gave them their very first league title for Başakşehir or whatever.
Başakşehir.
Thank you very much. He did that, so they are still hoping that maybe
so
if he doesn't do that,
one of our own gets a bit
if
more
he doesn't
potential.
do that, nobody no business-minded person will bring any ex-international, any ex-player of the club to come and coach again. So they are just saying, now you hold on for us now, guy. More manage you, may you do something for us so that at least we'll still get job when we won't come back.
Right. All right, then, speaking of which, let's just wrap up with the Premier League conversation pretty much on the review part with Tottenham, Liverpool and Chelsea. Both of all the tridents of those clubs have just 2 points separating them at the top of the table, which is interesting because you would have thought Liverpool would be a bit farther apart than Chelsea and Tottenham. Who do you think has the chance to peel away from the rest? Obviously, you look at Tottenham's next couple of games. You've got City and Chelsea rather than the Arsenal in the next couple of games. Do you think they're the ones who might just pull away, or Chelsea?
I think obviously Liverpool. I mean, they've got the quality, irrespective of the amount of injuries in the team. Going forward, Liverpool is still the team to fear all across the league. I think Tottenham, because of the kind of manager that they have, and because right now they do not have as many injuries as the likes of Liverpool, I think even Manchester United and every other big side in the team in the league. So I think Tottenham have got a real chance. Mourinho knows how to navigate these difficult fixtures. He's played against City and he's won. Don't be surprised if he wins against Chelsea and Arsenal, or if he gets a draw in one of them and wins the other one. So Mourinho knows how to navigate these games. For Chelsea, I think if they're going to run away at the top of the table, it's going to be down to the depth in squad that they've got, because they've got a lot of players, and these players have got quality. Every time they come in, they try to get, so there's a lot of competition. So everybody knows I've got to perform. So in my opinion, I'm thinking anybody that would want to peel away from the rest, it'll be Liverpool, Tottenham, then Chelsea.
Well, it's an interesting conversation for sure, and of course we cannot wrap up that Premier League review segment without mentioning the Gunners, who are struggling to get a win. Of course, the last 4 games couldn't quite pick a W. What do you think has gone wrong with Mikel Arteta's dressing room mode? Obviously, hasn't been made easier by the leaks coming out of the training ground. We did see stories, surfacing about David Luiz and Dani Ceballos getting into a training ground bust-up. What has gone wrong there?
Poor man management, I feel. And I feel like when you believe your hype, honestly, I think it was Buchin that was here some last week or something that was saying what's his face, Arteta was a better manager than Lampard and Ole, because personally I believe he is. Currently he's a better technically sound manager compared to these two guys. Only problem for me is he doesn't know how to ride the wave. when he doesn't know how to see the next move and then jump on it quickly. Like, you got a Willian, you still don't know how to position your Willian. You had a situation with Luis and Ceballos, and you didn't handle it properly. So even when we're on the game night or the game day, we're seeing a little bit of friction with the team. This is a team that you're supposed to, because they are fragile. Anybody that knows Arsenal teams, they don't see, their egos are very small, be very big, and they are biscuit bone players. You manage them small, and then you then have a team that we still don't know. I don't know whether we should do hashtag or we should do a GoFundMe to go and find out, send investigators to go and find out the real reason why Mesut Ozil is still not playing in that squad. Because I like Ceballos. Ceballos was very, very lively in the last games, but I feel like you're still struggling on the same pot of soup where you already have someone with the best ingredient to make it shine.
I think there's a lack of quality in the team.
Thank you very much.
Lack of quality.
And you know the worst part for me? It's that when I always say this thing about teams that will win. See, great teams play great games, they score. But the teams that get to win championship, they know how to defend.
Yep.
Now, I don't see that so much as the usual makeup for Arsenal. It looked like it was going to be their makeup. But just one small thing here, and it disintegrates. And it's still reminding me a bit like Arsenal of before. But I'll say this though, he still has time to turn it over. In fact, I think he has a better chance of turning it over for his team as opposed to Ole. Yeah. Because he has already bought himself some time by winning something. In fact, a couple of things. And he has beat some big boys this season alone. But for now, I feel, put your best men on the pitch. Keep your Aubameyang and Lacazette combination for me, because I always feel like a two-man strike force is always better than one.
We're just going to have a take on Arteta before we move away from that.
Well, like I said, I think there's an apparent lack of quality. If you bring in a new manager, you've got to be honest enough to back him, to get him the kind of players that he wants. And I know that, they were able to get him Thomas Partey. But when you're talking about a top Premier League team, Thomas Partey gets injured and then all of a sudden it's panic stations.
Oh, there's El Neni. El Neni can cover for Partey. That's
now El Neni also is out because of the COVID-19, positive results. So what I'm saying is that if you want to move forward, then you've got to bring in quality as much as possible into the side. I don't think anybody would take Arsenal serious. Anyone of City, Chelsea, Liverpool, even United would take Arsenal serious when they go into a game and they're seeing Eddie Nketiah and Joe Willock and who else? And Nicolas Pepe and all of these
when
guys.
Arsenal played Man U, it wasn't that bad a game. Yeah. Arsenal had a game to win as opposed to Manchester United. It was just that this Mr. Man put in funky people for inside that particular field. Right. Like, see the one with Leicester City and you're starting with Willock. And I don't get it. It seems like only in now do they bet against himself. Like, if Arsenal game may be like Chelsea game. If you see the squad, you go know whether they go win or lose. And when I say, okay, Willock is there, we're gonna lose this game. If you see some kind of people, you know that we're gonna lose this game. But I feel like for us now, all they just need is to get their 8 and their 10 sorted, get their 5 sorted. Partey can do that for them, fine, well and good. I don't think they really have defensive problem per se. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the world in their backline, and I feel honestly now supply they don't get, because if you look at Aubameyang, the sharpest striker in my opinion this season, that guy he brain if they sleep na goal, and you can't give him service.
Well,
it's like getting fine girl and you put fine girl for inside house, you not bring her come out, maybe say boys no say you get babe.
So you
get me.
Swar finally joined us on the show.
No, you said don't. No, I was bent.
It's not.
See, that's not game, man. Ah!
You put some money on the game, man.
We've got to get away from the Arsenal game. Hopefully we do a full Arsenal segment, and of course Arsenal fans will love that, I'm sure. Ayobami would actually love that. Right. And let's get away from that and get on to what to expect across the next couple of match days, and we're certainly looking forward to a big game. Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur is one of the big games we're looking forward to. And of course we've got just the right people to talk about it, both Chelsea enthusiasts, and you have been very unbiased in your opinion about what to expect from Tottenham, especially that they play Chelsea, your beloved Chelsea, in the next game. You think Tottenham can spring a surprise there?
If Tottenham can find a way to beat Chelsea, I don't think it'll be a surprise. They've got a quality team, they've got a solid manager as well. I mean, people talking about is Mourinho back. I'm wondering, did Mourinho ever leave the scene? People have been sleeping on the man. I need to ask you if you are awake now, right? So I think Mourinho has got everything that he needs to prosecute these big games. The players are playing like crazy animals when they need to. They are being creative when they need to. somebody mentioned, I think it was Jamie Carragher, said Harry Kane is the most streetwise player that you've got in the Premier League right now. And if you look at the way he plays, he becomes a creative midfielder when he needs to. He becomes a striker when he needs to.
But don't turn defender.
And you know,
Harry Kane don't turn defender this season.
Exactly. So, and I think much has not been said about the new striker that they brought in as well. Like I can't remember his name. Vinicius, right? Carlos Vinicius. I think that's another beast in the making. We've not seen much of him yet. So Tottenham have got a really solid team. For Chelsea, on the other hand, I think they've got something too. Lampard is beginning to find some sort of balance. He's got a backline now that he can depend on. Mendy has been an absolute rock. In the midfield, I'm hoping that by the time the Tottenham game comes around, Kai Havertz will be back to his best, because I feel like the best midfield combination for now would be Havertz, Mount, and Kante. That's when we've seen Chelsea at their best so far. Yeah, Ziyech has been an enigma for the team. So I think it's going to be, in terms of quality, evenly matched. At the end of the day, it'll be down to who can, better take their chances, as far as I'm concerned.
What's the prediction there?
I think it's going to be a draw.
A draw, a two-score draw.
Yeah, obviously a score draw. I think it'll be a low-scoring draw, probably like 1-1.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's Apprentice versus the Master, if you want for those subplots and whatnot. Another game we're looking forward to is the Wolves against the Arsenal, and we're just going to take a very short take on Arsenal because we've spent a huge amount of time on them. Give us a score prediction for that game, and why would you back that prediction up?
I feel like this is a game that could go either ways because Wolves have been very, very erratic with what they play this season, but then again, a lot of teams have been. In fact, it's been very difficult to see teams that have maintained a certain kind of momentum, say for teams like Tottenham and maybe Liverpool that managed to get results when you don't expect. So for this Arsenal game, I feel like if they go with high energy players, people won't go run up and down, kill everything killable. I feel like they have an opportunity. Not forgetting that Wolves have not been able to use their best player, the one everybody wants to get, Adama Traore. And whenever he's not on the pitch, it seems like they're just less than Wolves. So I'll say this game is a goal because both teams are idiots when it comes to everybody wants to go and counter blast. So if you're putting money on it, I'll tell you GG. But it's a game that can go either way. If you have a Christmas ticket, I'll tell you take Arsenal.
Well, Arsenal might just be another team to bounce back from their recent struggles in the last 4 games, haven't quite been able to pick up a W. But our last game, which is pretty much part of our predict and betting games, are Manchester United versus Southampton. We're looking forward to that because it's often said that no team knows
United go lose. So, United go lose. Continue.
Makes it easy for me to skip you from the analysis. So Southampton have been doing great, and of course they've lost Danny Ings to an injury. I think it's been 2 weeks in now, but they look like a team that can upset United in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. More so when you consider, look at United, wretched performance so far in the last couple of games. So I think it's quite unfortunate they lost Danny Ings, because when you've got your best striker playing, there's a different profile of team that comes on the pitch on the match day. But they've got something in there. They've got a James Ward-Prowse that can whip it in from any position close to the 18-yard area. They just seem to be like a more stable and balanced team than United right now. They seem to have more direction. They've got a manager that we all know is going to be there for the next, few years. That's going to look to do something solid, and they're going to add some few quality players as well. I see Theo Walcott getting his first goal for them. So I think against United, I think it'll be a slim win. This is a very unpopular one, but I think Southampton would win.
Slim win for Southampton.
As long as they do what Aston Villa did, anybody knows how to beat Manchester United now. All you need is just go and watch that Aston Villa game. If you watch them, you already know what to do.
But then again, if United can get a penalty.
How many penalties can you get in a full game? Because do you know what teams do now? They set up with the mind that United is going to hustle a penalty. Even the West Brom game. Didn't you see? For any small thing, my brother don't fall like saying anointing. Any small thing don't fall like saying an anointing. And everybody knows that now. So they know that I have to shift. I have to be very cautious around my 18. I have to be very cautious. Also, other than that, when they go high, we press them back and we run. And they have the runners and they have the stupid boys, like you were mentioning, that can do that thing that English football used to be about, which is whip a shot from the middle of the field and they go disgrace people, papa. I'm just
James Ward-Prowse certainly might be an anytime goal scorer. I think Che Adams might
Adams is
popularly.
that shit, that boy,
in that game.
put that boy for
I also
goal.
agree with so I think there'll be penalties in the game. It's just it's
United.
and you cannot avoid it. But of course, be a part of the conversation on our social media, Twitter to be precise. We actually love to interact with you on that platform at KNarabet, and also on Instagram at KNarabet. Give us a follow while you're at the page, and of course on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, Kicking It with Narabet. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. You came back eventually, but of course Tracy still won the day. Like the outfit, by the way. Love and Notify, it's been a pleasure to have you as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always whenever you're on set with Swa, you can't doubt the energy.
Yeah.
Even though she was quiet and absent.
I was
disguising a couple of times.
She was disguising.
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Right then, great. It's been an absolute pleasure. The first 10 games watching, and of course bantering with you on social media. Keep the thoughts coming. Use the hashtag Kicking It with Narabet. We'll see you soon.